10 modern ideologies attacking your faith and how to protect your faith. Navigating the world today can feel like walking through a philosophical minefield. Everywhere you turn, there's a new idea, a new ism vying for your attention, your belief. And look, a lot of these concepts might seem harmless on the surface, even progressive or enlightened. But what if I told you that many of these concepts directly conflict with the core of Islam, Tawheed, which emphasizes the absolute oneness of Allah? Tawheed, the Muslim creed, is all about purity, clarity, and holisticity. That's what we're diving into today. We're exploring 10 modern philosophies that are conflicting with Islamic teachings. Think of it like a spiritual self-defense class. We're here to equip you with the knowledge to not just survive, but thrive in a world saturated with ideologies trying to pull you away from the straight path. So buckle up, grab your Quran and a notebook, because we're about to unpack some serious knowledge. Let's go! Atheism, the ultimate denial. First up, let's talk about atheism. Atheism is like hitting the unsubscribe button on the concept of a higher power. It's the outright denial of Allah's existence, contradicting Tawheed. Tawheed is the operating system of a Muslim's life. It's the foundation for prayer, fasting, charity, and more. Atheism says delete that system, but evidence for Allah's existence is all around us. The Quran challenges atheists in Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 35. Were they created by nothing, or were they the creators? The complexity of the universe points towards a creator. Atheism asks us to believe it all happened by chance, and that takes a serious leap of faith. Islam encourages us to question and seek knowledge. Secularism, the separation anxiety. Next up, we've got secularism, and this one's a little sneakier. It's not necessarily about denying Allah's existence outright, but rather about showing him the door when it comes to matters of, well, everything else. Governance, law, societal norms. Secularism basically says, thanks, but we got this. Now, on the surface, the idea of separating religion and state might sound appealing. After all, who wants to live in a theocracy, right? But here's the catch. Islam isn't just a religion, it's a complete way of life. It's a holistic system that encompasses every aspect of human existence, including governance and societal values. The Quran is very clear about this in Surah Yusuf, verse 40. Legislation is not but for Allah. Secularism, in its attempt to create a neutral public sphere, often ends up marginalizing religion, pushing it into the private corners of our lives. Humanism The Ego Trip. Alright, let's talk about humanism. Now this one might seem all warm and fuzzy at first glance. It's all about human potential, reason, and ethics. But here's the thing. Humanism places human beings at the center of the moral universe, often sidelining or completely disregarding the role of Allah as the ultimate source of guidance and morality. It's like saying, we humans, we've got this morality thing down. We don't need a divine rule book. But here's the problem. Human history is littered with examples of what happens when we rely solely on our own intellect and moral compass. Wars, oppression, injustice, these are all products of flawed human judgment. The Quran reminds us in Surah Ad-Dariyat, verse 56, I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. We were created to fulfill a higher purpose, a divine moral order. Materialism, the Bling trap. Materialism, the Bling trap. Let's get real. We live in a world obsessed with stuff. The latest gadgets, designer clothes, luxury cars. It's easy to get caught up in the never-ending pursuit of more. That, my friends, is the essence of materialism. It's about shifting your focus from Allah to worldly possessions, making them the objects of your desire, your worship. It's like that friend who's always chasing the next big thing, the next status symbol, but never seems to find true contentment. And that's the thing about materialism. It promises happiness, but delivers only a fleeting sense of satisfaction. The Quran warns us about this in Surah Al-An'am, verse 32. The life of this world is only the enjoyment of deception. Relativism, the truth twister. Relativism, the truth twister. Okay, let's talk about relativism. This one's a real mind-bender. It's the idea that there's no such thing as absolute truth, that everything is relative, subjective, dependent on your perspective. It's like saying, you do you, I do me, there's no right or wrong. Now, on the surface, this might sound tolerant, even open-minded, but here's the problem. Relativism, when applied to morality and religion, creates a dangerous slippery slope. It undermines the very foundation of divine guidance, suggesting that Allah's laws are open to interpretation, negotiation, even rejection, based on personal preference or societal trends. The Quran is very clear about the universality and immutability of Allah's message in Surah Al-Isra, verse 9. Indeed, this Quran guides to that which is most suitable. Pantheism, the blurry lines. Alright, let's dive into pantheism. This one gets a little mystical. Pantheism basically says that the universe and nature are divine, or that God is equivalent to the universe. It blurs the lines between the creator and creation, attributing divine qualities to nature, the universe, even ourselves. It's like saying, we're all just little sparks of the divine. Now I get it, feeling connected to nature, feeling a sense of awe and wonder at the universe. Those are beautiful things. But pantheism takes it a step further, claiming that this interconnectedness means that we are all part of a singular divine essence. The Quran firmly rejects this notion in Surah Ash-Shura, verse 11. There is nothing like unto him, and he is the hearing, the seeing. Scientism, the data delusion. Let's talk about scientism. And this one's a little tricky because it often disguises itself as rational thought and progress. Scientism basically says that science is the only valid way to understand the world, the only source of knowledge worth having. It's like saying, if you can't measure it in a lab, it doesn't exist. Now don't get me wrong, science is an incredible tool. It's helped us understand the natural world, cure diseases, and connect across the globe. But scientism takes it a step further, claiming that science can answer all of life's big questions, including those that delve into the realm of the unseen, the metaphysical, the spiritual. The Quran reminds us of the limits of human understanding in Surah Al-An'am, verse 59. And with him are the keys of the unseen. None knows them except him. Scientism, in its attempt to quantify and explain everything, often ends up denying the existence of anything that falls outside the realm of empirical observation. Postmodernism, the truth dissolver. Alright, buckle up, because we're about to enter the world of postmodernism, and this one's a real head-scratcher. Postmodernism is basically a philosophy that rejects grand narratives, absolute truths, and universal values, emphasizing skepticism. It questions everything, deconstructs everything, and leaves you wondering if anything is real or meaningful. Now, on the surface, this might sound liberating or empowering, but here's the problem. Postmodernism, when applied to religion, undermines the very notion of divine revelation. It suggests that religious beliefs, including the tenets of Islam, are not absolute truths but rather social constructs, products of culture and power dynamics. The Quran, however, is very clear about the divine origin and absolute nature of its message in Surah Al-An'am, verse 115. And the word of your Lord has been fulfilled in truth and in justice. Postmodernism, in its skepticism towards grand narratives and universal truths, often ends up creating a sense of moral and spiritual ambiguity. The New Age spirituality. Let's talk about New Age spirituality, alternative spiritual paths, alternative healing, crystals, and good energy. It's a mix of traditions such as Hinduism, Taoism, and Buddhism. It is focused on self-discovery and higher consciousness, but it often promotes the idea that we are divine beings. The Quran in Surah Al-Kahf, verse 110 says, "Say, I am only a man like you, to whom has been revealed that your God is one God." New Age spirituality contradicts Tawheed, blurring the line between creator and creation. True enlightenment comes from submission to Allah and purifying our hearts. It's about drawing closer to Him, not becoming God. Alright folks, let's talk about nationalism. Nationalism is extreme pride in one's nation, often overshadowing other identities. It's like saying, my country, right or wrong. Loving your homeland is good, but nationalism can create divisions. It promotes an us versus them mentality, leading to conflicts. Extreme nationalism can lead to prejudice and violence. The Quran emphasizes the universality of mankind and brotherhood and sisterhood. O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Quran 49:13. Safeguarding your faith in a world of isms. So there you have it, 10 modern philosophies that in their own subtle or not so subtle ways contradict the Islamic concept of Tawheed. Now look, I'm not saying you need to become a philosophical ninja, but it is important to be aware of these ideologies to understand how they can subtly influence our thinking and to be equipped to challenge them both intellectually and spiritually. Remember, Tawheed is the bedrock of our faith, the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's about recognizing Allah's absolute oneness, His unique attributes, and His sovereignty over all of creation. By deepening our understanding of Tawheed and grounding ourselves in the Quran and Sunnah, we can navigate the complexities of the modern world without compromising our faith. And always remember, your God is one God. There is no deity worthy of worship except Him, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.